And I have returned. Welcome back. For those watching the VODs on YouTube, hello. I have Kitten on my lap, who has just joined me. Please be sure to do all the social stuff, etc., etc. Below the video, as well, there is a poll right now. This poll is not to vote for my 1000 sub reward, it is to vote for what will be my continuing streaming schedule once I get through Rare Earth for processing on this particular map. I'm letting you determine what we will do at this point in time. So, if you haven't voted on this updated new poll that I've been running for a little bit of time, please go ahead and do so. Depending on the results of this, I will be either playing Bob's Angels or something else during my streams, or I will be continuing to play this, or I will be doing both. If continuing with this PyBlock series gets between... what's PyBlock? PyBlock is this. PyBlock is this. It is a style of game. Yes, it is. It is exactly C Block, but Pyanodons mods. That's what it is. It is C Block, but Pyanodons mods. That is what this has been. But at this point, not many people are really watching this. At least not anymore. So, yeah, I think it's about time to consider doing something else during the week besides just this. In that vote, if I get between 15 and 30% of the vote to continue, I will be continuing this 1 day per week. But if I get 30% to 50, 45, 30 to 45%, it will be 2 days per week. Something along those lines anyway. I forget, or no, it's 30 to 50, because 50 plus is all 3 days. If it gets more than half the votes to continue, then yes, of course I'm gonna be continuing this exclusively. That's not gonna happen at this point in time. The way the votes shaken out, it will probably be the Angels with Bob's and Space Extension playthrough, at least once or twice per week. We're like right on that border between 29 and 30% on the continuing of the PyBlock series. So it's just coming down to 1 day or 2 days per week. That's really what it's coming down to. So do make sure to vote in that poll if you have not already done so. Okay. All of that said and out of the way. Yet again, I've gotten a comment about the biters thing on my Factorio video on YouTube, about saying it's kind of sad you don't play with biters when they're fun. You can make them easy, and no, that's not the point. The point is not how easy it is to deal with them. The point is that you have to deal with them in the first place. I do not find the dealing with biters fun at any point in the game. Like that, it's as simple as that. And there's no mechanic that will ever make them fun. Nothing will make them fun. I don't care what sort of weapons you have that you're adding into the game, what sort of ways of dealing with them that you add to the game. I'm not interested in dealing with them, period. Just period. Any mechanic that destroys things that I have built is not a mechanic I am going to be playing with. It is as simple as that. I do not want anything that can destroy the things that I have built. Pretty simple, that. And besides that point, having biters is a permanent thing. Like, you either are playing with biters or you are not playing with biters, and there is no mechanic to not play, or to start off with them and then destroy them, right? There's no mechanic that exists that allows you to destroy them permanently in your game without like hacking, right? Or without like putting a mod in very specifically that allows you to turn them off. That is one of the biggest problems I have with it, is that there's just no way for you to permanently end the threat. Yes, part of the game is fine. They have a very, very good role. I understand why they exist. Like, I understand why biters exist. I understand the exact difficulty that they provide, what they provide to the early game. The problem is that you're playing with biters for the entirety of the game, not just the early game. They're fine for the early game. Like, they are a legitimate, good mechanic that exists in the early game. Not so much when you're at the point where they become trivial. And yet you still have to clear them for the privilege of expanding your base. Because that's what they become. They become a thing that you need to manually clear for the privilege of expanding your base, and I don't like that. Not in the slightest. They become a tedious mechanic throughout the course of the game, and you spend the majority of your time in the phase of the game where they are completely tedious. The vast majority of your time is spent in that phase where they are tedious. And that is a problem. This also needs like a manual filling of stuff, doesn't it? Of limestone. That's the other complicating factor. It needs some limestone in. Hey, mister, you're biting me. Please don't bite me. I'm trying to just reposition you on my lap so that you don't fall. Just bringing my leg up to cross my leg. Now, space exploration has its own problems. Not even biter related. I mean, yes, I understand that in space exploration you get surfaces of set size that you can eradicate the biters, but you also get meteors, you also have robot attrition, you also apparently have this mechanic of coronal mass ejections that can supposedly ruin your day as well. So yeah, and you can't turn any of these things off completely. So it's like, huh. Nah. I'm not about that. I'm not gonna be doing that. That shall not be a thing that I consider in the slightest. You there, give me stuff. And give me water. Oh. Oh. Loaders. Have I ever been in space with space exploration? No. No. I've tried it. I have tried to play that game as it is, but you know, even with all of the shenaniganry, even with AAI, it still feels vanilla, because like even AAI doesn't add or change enough to make it not still feel vanilla base game. And all of the other associated problems with vanilla base game, like not getting robots within a reasonable amount of time. And of course you have to deal with the meteors the whole time. And you have to deal with meteors. Because meteors. And of course the buildings for the meteors are gargantuan. The buildings to quote-unquote protect yourself from the meteors are ginormous. Ginormous waste of space that only protect you when they feel like it, and they don't do an even remotely adequate job, and eat all of your power. No, I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. Not one bit. Not one bit. Ah, but yeah, now I have to put all of that into text to reply to this comment that I got on Crastorio. Be like, hey, but I don't like dealing with them. Just flat, period. I don't like dealing with biters. Like having their existence. Their existence is not fun to me. You can do whatever you want with the dealing of the biters. The fact that they exist is not fun to me. That's not why I play Factorio. That it's completely counter to the whole reasoning why I even play this to begin with. I play to make things, not rebuild things that I have made. Not have to remember how to rebuild the things that I have built. Because guess what? At the beginning of the game, you don't get little ghosts to tell you what you've lost when stuff gets destroyed. You don't get little ghosts to replace it easily. You don't get that until you get bots. And guess what? You don't get bots until utility science. Like, what? This is a problem with vanilla, by the way, the vanilla game. Bots are, like, not until very late in the game. And I am not looking forward to that with Crastorio as well, because I'm pretty sure you have to get to utility science to get into the bots with Crastorio as well, and that's not ideal. I just don't. I don't even. I odd. I odd. Oh yeah, and then with Satisfactory, you're bringing that up with their fauna, the hostile fauna and flora in that game. Again, the map's limited, and you kill stuff. I'm assuming you kill stuff, it's dead. So it's a limited space. You don't have lots of like infinite supplies of stuff, effectively infinite enemies to have to deal with. Factorio, the map size is like the equivalent geographic area of the United States, or something like that, in the equivalent geographic area, and on a full scale map, it is effectively infinite. It is effectively infinite. It would take days, literal days, walking in a straight line, or with a vehicle in a straight line of some description, really fast vehicle going, and to hit the edge, the actual limit of the length of the thing. So it's like, nah. I mean, I get it with Castorio, because Castorio has a mechanic of creep. It has this creep mechanic where they essentially are on a resource that you want, but again, if I can't get rid of them permanently, I don't care. Especially when it actually has a setting to be able to do all of that tech without needing biters, right? Crastorio does offer a setting to not have to do anything in regards to biters. It lets you have them off. By design, it lets you have them off. Gives you a nice setting so that you don't need to have them. Alright, how are we doing here? Are we even remotely? No, we're not even remotely at the level of production. This is going to take a while. So what I'm waiting for right now is I need limestone. I need limestone. Lots and lots and lots of limestone in order to actually get this going. Why are you not actually going? Hello? Oh, right. That would help. Hi. Power. Power! Power is awesome. Magnificent. Wonderful stuff. Would help. Would help if things had power. All the power on the planet. As the Ollie, Kitty Ollie is grooming himself on my lap right now. Yeah, like there is always a point. Every game with biters, there will always be a point where you no longer want to have the biters. Like that, where you've grown tired of the biters, which is an inherent problem with their design. Like, frankly, they are flawed in that respect. It is a completely flawed mechanic. It's fine in the early phases, but just there's no proper way of. What would be great is a automated means of clearing them. Like, yes, artillery exists, but artillery isn't an automated method of clearing biters. Like, I want a completely automated way of expanding my available space. And they're not, like, it's not fully automated with artillery to do that. You still have to manually use it to help. And that's the other thing. It's like artillery is just a thing to help you clear them. It's not your only option of clearing them. Like the fastest way I think is still to just manually roll out with whatever vehicle you want to use and just kill, crush, kill, destroy, nuke. But yeah, that's one thing. Is like it's not fully automated to expand my base. If we could automate the expansion of the base, of the available space in the base to grow, that would be one thing. But I don't see a good way of being able to do that. I would much prefer having like a final wave type of mechanic with biters that once you clear the final wave, they stop completely existing. Just a way to cease their existence in some way is what I would prefer having. Just completely end the existence of the things would be great. Would be fantastic. That would be wonderful. Just away. Please, please, kitty, don't push buttons, kitty. My Ollie. Yes. You're the good boy. You're the good Ollie. Dolly, I think, is on the cat tree in the living room right now, watching her cat TV, aka looking out the window. She is watching TV, aka the window. Okay, how's this throughput looking? Eh. I mean, identical. We are identical, but I'm also splitting. So yeah, that. I need that to not exist. It needs to look like this, not like this. We're getting there though. Just a few more units of the stuff. You know what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to, like, make a chest that's going to be a provider chest that's just going to be completely full of limestone. And then this is going to end up as a requester chest, requesting a few thousand units of stuff as I continue down the line, because, yeah, I hate waiting like this. I dislike waiting. Who would have thought? I really dislike waiting. Could you grab stuff? Logistic request because I'm lazy. You're gonna request that much stuff, and you're gonna like it. Yes, there. Then I'm gonna copy that. So I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna paste it down here. Now, what does this do? What this does is this chest is going to request 1,500 units of limestone. Limestone is going to go out as well as come in, which means that once there are more than 1,500 units of limestone in here, perpetually, it will no longer be requesting any more limestone. It'll just sit as it is. It won't get deliveries of limestone anymore. And it'll have enough. It will have enough of the stuff. Plenty of the stuff. Okay, moving on. As we have like an hour left in the stream today. Would I park all the way up there? We are all the way up here. Now, off we go so I can actually do this properly. Let's finish the fiberboard. I did mention at the beginning, by the way, that we are not going to be seeing PCB2s most likely today. Just because things like this I knew would happen. Things like this tend to happen where you have to just sidetrack for a bit to increase production some places. I honestly thought I had like 5 yellow belts worth of stuff. No, as it turns out, I had 1 of the sodium hydroxide. Now I have 3. Now I have 45 per second. Ish. And that, unfortunately, does not increase with tech. I need to do the same thing with the chest here as well, just so we're clear on that. I need to, like, break that and place that in its place. It'll stop that a bit, but I'll deal with it. Why do I need to do that? I need to do that because if I want to copy and paste that block later, I'm going to need to have that there. Because I may need more sodium hydroxide. Just gonna point out, over the course of a full Pi Suite playthrough, sodium hydroxide is definitely one of those things that has really high demand. Really high demand for that. We're talking in the at least 3 to 4 digits of demand, worth of demand. It's a bit of stuff that you need, and infrastructure that you need for that. And because they use regular chemical plants, vanilla chemical plants, it's not as easy to scale as you increase your mark level of buildings. Not as easy. Speaking of which, I must never have defined sodium hydroxide. In fact, I know that I haven't because not defined. This priority schema has not been defined. So let us define this priority schema. To be sodium hydroxide. D-sodium hydroxide. Right there. Right there. And yes, I have a few mods. I have a few mods installed right now. Also, wires. Just like so. Just like so. Cool. This train station is not finished yet because I now also need the actual fiberboard out. Right? I need to load the fiberboard. And that is going to be this. I have declared that it is this. It's a bit of a waste of space though, but you know what? I'll deal with it. Don't need all that though. All that belt on this side. Probably gonna load it from the opposite side. See, that's what I want to have happen. I want it to sit right there while it waits for the train to clear. I want it sitting right there. That's the whole point. All right. Pin. I went and I made a video about Helmod, and I never mentioned the fact that pinning exists. I spent 50 some odd minutes talking about Helmod, and I never mention the existence of the pinning feature. How does TSM compare to LTN? Well, I've actually talked about this a little bit ago in this very stream, but I'll reiterate again. TSM does not care what is in your trains. It is cargo agnostic, which means it does not need to use any scripts to determine what's in your wagons and add that onto a circuit network. And it also means that it's able to do what it does on the deliveries and such without that knowledge. It's dumb as to what's in your cargo wagons. You yourself have to keep track of what's in your cargo wagons, which is all that matters. And you can do that by defining these source priorities. The actual resource and ID icons, these icons here, they don't matter. It doesn't care as long as they're unique. That's all that really matters. As long as it's unique, tying two icons to a depot of some description. And the depot is what it will request the trains from. It's like, okay, you assign this resource and ID a depot, and then at a requester station, you tell it to bring trains from whatever depots are assigned with the supply priority that matches this resource and ID icon. And you can have multiple depots assigned to this same thing. You can append additional depots onto this. It works just fine adding additional depots onto this. Yeah, it's far simpler, in my opinion, than setting up LTN. Especially when I can just have this little, completely optional, by the way, circuit condition set up, where it's like I check that there's contents. That's what each is, by the way, with the vanilla circuit conditions. That's what each means. It's like something. Just as long as there's something in here. If the amount of stuff divided by 4,000, if that whole number value, if the amount of stuff here divided by 4,000, after taking 2 and subtracting that value, if we end up with a value greater than 0, if the value is greater than 0, so say we have 0 over 4,000, so we have nothing in here. Well, that's 2 minus 0. That means a 2. A value of 2 gets passed into here. And this light turns on if the number of trains on the way is less than that value. That value can at max be 2. So if there's less than 2 trains on the way, this is going to turn on, and it's going to send trains. The trains are going to be on the way until it hits signal P, which is 2. And then it will be equal to that. Now, and then, because I have it set to equal to, it will send a third train. And at the third train, the trains on the way will be 3. And 3 will not be less than or equal to 2. It's greater than, so then this will turn off and it will stop requesting trains once 3 trains are on the way. Pretty simple that. And then as stuff gets delivered, once you get a value greater than, in this case, 12,000 or whatever, or over 8,000 units of stuff, at 8,000 units of stuff, the X value will equal 2. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. In which case, 0 is still less than or equal to P, but it's also 0, right? It's 0. You know, if you don't need stuff, you're not going to get stuff. But it will still turn on at 4K, so at 8K at 2x. Again, just because of equals. Just because of equals here. If it's equal to, and they're both 0, it'll still send an extra train to give you a little bit more. So I end up with actually 3 loads of trains here, not just 2. I end up with the equivalent stuff of 3 loads. That's how that works. That's how that works. And I can, because this is using each, it's agnostic, I just copy this thing and I can place it anywhere. As long as I wire up whatever stuff to it, it's like that's the only infrastructure I ever need. I don't even think about what these do anymore. Like I don't even think about what these combinators are set to ever. All I had to do was do it once with the wire setup that I needed to wire. It's you wire end to end to the light, and then the light to the train counter thingamabobber. It goes here to here. There's a red wire. Just copy paste that all throughout wherever I need requester stations, and we are fine. In my opinion, very, 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 very much so simpler than the LTN setups that are not resource agnostic. They absolutely care about what resources you've got. Okay. From here. Oh boy. I need stuff. What are you even... Oh. I'm like, I didn't put a train here. This is S Fiberboard 1. Yeah, you go to your actual station, buddy. You need to go home. Okay. From here. I need the sodium sulfate. I also need the treated wood. And I need the fiber. Oh boy. That's done. That's done. And that's it. I need all the rest. This is space. Lots and lots of space. Alright, let's get this out of the way. I need... What do I want to do first? I want the creosote, I think, first. That's going to be the easier thing in my mind. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11! Making creosote. Come right down there. That's one too many. Oops. I swear it's the It's the sprite here. You see how this sprite has that little bit of grass there? That little bit of grass there that you can see right behind? Yeah, that is confusing as to the actual extent of this sprite for this building. That is a little confusing. I mean, yeah, I guess the extent of the sprite does match up with the pipe, but it does not match up with the actual uh, like base of the building. I expect it to match the base of the building, and it doesn't in this particular case. In this particular case, the full extent of the sprite is the collision box. In this specific case of this tar extractor, as opposed to, you know, this destructive distillation column, which has this huge sprite that goes way up above, and, you know, same with our heavy oil refinery here, you can't see anything behind it, let alone with like reformers and stuff and other large buildings. I would really want to keep these all connected, so let's just keep them all connected like that. There we go. There's my creosote. All done. Then 4 automated factories. Grab these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. These need wood in to make the treated wood. Treated wood is under coal processing. Ba-ba, 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 and ba-ba. Now, the question of the day, what side is going to do what here? I think I am going to load the wood from the far side. So now I need wood in. Let's bring that wood all the way from over here. Break all that. Wood is there. Yeah, I still can't believe I never even mentioned the fact that pinning exists on that Hellmod video. I spent so much time making that video, like that hour or so, going over. Oh right, it's on an autosave, but going over the vanadium processing chain. That's what I cover, by the way, on my Hellmod video, because really it's more of a here are a lot of issues that pop up with Hellmod and how to deal with them type of video, more so than like, this is the UI, this is how you do this and this and this with the UI of Hellmod. There's a little bit of that, but it's not completely all about that. This is some of the problems you can come up with that come up when doing stuff with Hellmod, specifically in more complex mod suites like the Pi suite. So things like the vanadium chain, which has all this shenaniganry as part of it. There are several bug situations that that present themselves when you have this all broken down in Hellmod. In particular, you see how this oleochemicals here has a steam out? Yeah, that causes problems. You see how it has a steam out here and a steam in here? This steam out is 60C, this steam in is 165C. Hellmod does not care about the temperature of this steam being 60 and this steam being 165. It's still going to try to use this 60-degree steam to feed into this 165-degree steam input here. It will it will calculate that value. Which can mean several things. In particular, it means that it could overproduce something. But look, you see how we're making 339.8 here, and this is 63.7. Look at this value, 276.1. It is absolutely using the steam. It is subtracting the 63.7 from this value and telling you, hey, you have this much spare. No, I have 339.8 60-degree steam spare, and I need 63.7 165-degree steam as an input. Helmod just does not separate temperature like that, and it's still broken on the close button. They were supposed to have fixed that, and it didn't get fixed. Also, I totally need to go back to my pin on the fiberboard. Thanks. Still, pin and summary, like, I should have mentioned those, but I think by now if you've watched my stuff, if you've watched now, at the very least, you know about the pin feature on Helmod. And that's just one of the things, by the way, that Steam thing. The other is complications with Matrix Solver, with it occasionally telling you that there's 0 of something, or infinite, like 0 or infinite values. Like it can do one of two things. It can either show you a whole bunch of zeros for steps without really understanding why it's telling you these 0 values, or it can tell you that there's like e to the 24th of stuff, or more, like billions, trillions, quadrillions type of a deal. So yeah, it's a great mod. It's absolutely wonderful. There's no problems whatsoever with Helmod, right? But I do explain how to fix some of this stuff when you can, and what situations would require you to start doing separate production blocks, linked production blocks, because that's also a thing to consider. Sometimes you just need to do a separate production block on a line for some things, and for other things you can add in. It's generally fluids, by the way. It's fluids that cause a lot of issues. As evidenced by steam, it's like, okay, this is a fluid, technically, that it has trouble with. It has trouble with fluids. Specifically in the Pi suite, it has troubles with fluids that are both inputs and outputs along the same production line, or in that same block, if you have them together in the same block. Anyhoozle. I need that pin back, thanks. I keep closing my pin. That's that. I now want the 19 wood processing units, wherever those ended up. I am blind. I am completely blind. Where are they? There they are. That explains it. I'm looking for the icons next to each other, and it turns out they're at the ends. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19! Barely. It barely fit. Also, I don't know why I brought this back like that. Nah. Let's not have that. I think this time I will just bring the kickalk in on this side and then put the other stuff on the output on the other side. 9.38, though, is a value greater than 7.5, which I am deeply disappointed by. This is an odd number of buildings, so that's why I'm building it in this pattern. Oops. let's get this all sorted. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So there's a couple options that I have available to me in regards to the lane situation here. I'm probably going to do the route of use the adjustable inserters, just adjusting the inserters such that every other one is inserting on the near side. That is what I shall do. That's one thing that I'm glad Factorio has, by the way, is the it just gives you by default the ability to adjust the lane on inserters. Makes it handy, but I haven't actually used it. I haven't actually used it yet in my playthrough. We're still really early. Really early on. Just gonna get that sorted. There's the kickalk. All done. That just leaves the sodium sulfate and the 8 doohickeys. There we go. 8 doohickeys with their output 1.88. Now, usually I would have these, like, supplied separately, but whatever. Whatevs! This is a lot in, so what I'll end up doing is something along these lines. This is a lot of sodium hydroxide in. That is a lot of sodium hydroxide. A lot. Excuse me. And... oops. Alright, how am I going to do this exactly? I think that works out. I think that will work out, throughput-wise. That's the problem, though, is I need, like, 2 belts going in. And I need even more! Even more! Almost like having a 3rd belt. Ugh. What can I do? That. It gets again there. It gets balanced again there, so that should be okay. This will come in from over here. Just quick math, 18.75 plus 9.38. Value less than or equal to 30. Pretty sure less than. Hey, there's a calculator in Hellmod. Did you know that there's a calculator in Hellmod? There's totally a calculator in Hellmod, but you have to manually type in 9.38 plus 18.75 equals 28.13. Hey, there's your answer. Value is less than 30. We have proved it. We have approved, the value is less than 30. I am going to do my outputs on this side. They are going to be merged / balanced. Want to pull as evenly as possible. And that should be that. Yes, summary, very, 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 very handy on the building totals. The thing about summary, though, is you sort of do get building totals somewhere. Hello? There was at some point a thingy showing you what the actual buildings are. I think it's hover. Yes, hover. Hover over the building total, and it'll show you the icons of the buildings that you need. Yeah. Can't believe I forgot to mention those. Maybe I need to do an addendum. That video goes live tomorrow. That Hellmod tutorial thingy, doohickey. Ideally. Ideally, it goes live tomorrow. We shall see if I need to do any major updates, overhauls to that video. Excuse me. There you go. Power! Everything has power. Now it looks better. Make it look nice. Sure, I'll make it look nice. Nicer. And there we go. So just need to assign that recipe for the fiber. Chew up all of my kickalk. Literally all of the kickalk that I'm currently producing to do this. I need to put sulfuric acid in. There we go. And there's that. All sorted. Now for the 10. The 10 pulp mills. Where shall I have the 10 pulp mills? Probably here. Why there? Because I felt like it. They're close and require fewer logistics belts and such. Where are my pulp mills? Hello? Pulp mills? I know I requested those. Huh? Oh, there. There they are. Sneaky bastards. Probably gonna want the space between. I don't need the space between. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10! And, of course, pipes. Because lots of steam. Lots of steam is required. Up we go. Connect the steam. Glorious, beautiful, wonderful steam. Okay, 4 solids in and 1 solid out. 4 solids in, of which 2 of those solids are greater than 7.5 on this line, or greater than a lane on this line. Wonderful. So I think the obvious solution here is that I'm going to, or the not so obvious solution here is that I'm going to have a combined belt with the treated wood and the sodium sulfate. So these 2 guys, this and this, will share a belt. and the raw fiber and sodium hydroxide are just going to have to coexist or just exist on their own lines. So 2 lines in. And then, yeah, of course, there's even more issue in that power. It's a thing. It exists. And I have to deal with it. But it'll be fine. I have medium power poles. Medium power poles aren't great for this. So what I don't like about this particular way is that it's powering just the inserters and not the actual buildings. But either way, I have the same thing on the other side anyway. And that will provide the power to the buildings. Thank God there's only one fluid. There is only one fluid. Famous last words, by the way. Just count down until Pinedon adds a thing. These are also outputting 15 per second of stuff. Each one is 1.6. I have 10 of them. I am hopeful that that will be fine. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. I'm hopeful that these at this length can do 1.6 each. Approximately. It can do up to 16 per second, but I only need 50. It'll be fine. It will work. Almost guaranteed. Throughput on 1. Yeah, that can be the outside, and I'll have the fiber on the inside. I am out of belt. That is not good. That is not good. That is the opposite of good. That is bad. That is bad thing. Very bad thing. I can make myself have a few more units of belt, but that would be counterproductive. I could save a few units there, but just bring me more belt. Bots. Bots! More belt is required. I very much am looking forward to having more inventory space at some point and requesting more stuff. But at that point, I would also have access to red belts, and yeah. I would need the infrastructure to support having red belts in my inventory at that many units. That's going to be a bit of stuff, considering that they take advanced small parts and stainless steel for those advanced small parts. What do I need for that? Yes, stainless. Stainless! Stainless, which means rare earth. As discussed earlier, stainless steel requires cobalt extract, which requires mixed ores, which requires rare earth ore plus copper plus nickel. That is a slight problem. Oh yeah, circuit 2s also require this stuff now, don't they? Don't they? For the MOSFETs. Yeah. They require nickel silicon nici and then silicon carbide. Now for that, with all of the doped silicon, yes, because let's make circuit 2s even more expensive than what they already were by requiring both standard transistors and MOSFETs, which are a transistor by the way. That's the T in MOSFET is transistor. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, it's like that's what the T stands for in MOSFET is transistor. So they require generic transistor plus this now for the circuit 2s. And then this is also now used in circuit 3s. These MOSFETs. Yeah. Those two guys right there. Lots of complaints. There were lots of complaints when this was added for into specifically into circuit 2s. Like it made some degree of sense having this in circuit 3s, I guess, because it didn't have a dedicated transistor yet on circuit 3s. Like an actual dedicated item that is like obvious transistor. It has like these diodes, but it doesn't have like dedicated item that was transistor on the face of it. Circuit 2s, though, already have transistors, which is like, excuse me, but why are there just two separate types of transistors for this recipe now? Like, excuse me. Excuse me, but that seems wrong. But no, that's our life now. Thank you, Pyandon, for that so very much. They're still trying to deliver more stuff to me, but I'm tired of waiting for them. That's what I want to get, though, is faster robots. Faster robots would be great. More so than having more inventory to request belts. Faster robots would be better. And again, I can't get the Mark II bot, Logibot, until I have stainless steel. I can make the Mark II construction bot, though. The Pinobot Mark II construction, as soon as I have circuit 2s. Oh, it is circuit 2 and stainless now. There was a time I could do one and not the other. Well, oh, no, I am wrong. This I can do at circuit 2s because it's stainless steel. It's the Mark II Logibots are super steel. That's the issue, yeah. I could do the cargo, the construction bots at circuit 2s with stainless steel, but I can't do the cargo bots because the cargo bots are super steel. Reasons. I've pointed this out to Pinodon before. Multiple times. He knows. He should know by now my thoughts on that. Why did you stop? Oh, right. Remember what I said about not liking stuff? Boinky, boinky, boinky. Boinky, boinky. But this needs to void. Void how much? Fine. One thingy. Hello, water. As an output. Gosh, if you ever need any sodium sulfate in the vanadium processing chain, that can be an issue as well, because it has several things that take water as an ingredient in the vanadium processing chain. And if you break it down all the way into a sodium sulfate somehow, or anything else that outputs water, it can, especially if you have stuff that's like outputting water and other things that are outputting steam, and you need steam, and yeah, it can do bad things. It can do really, really bad things. for you, to you. Just depending on the specific sets of processes that you use, it can get ugly and annoying. I have stuff. I have my boards now. Yay, celebration. Non-zero amounts of boards. I need that. There, that, and there. Huzzah! We made slight progress. We have made a not zero amount of progress. I need that limited, though. And you are... Did I name these yet? No. This would be D Fiberboard. 1 depot. D for depot. Not D for demand. S2 D. Bulk cargo. Circuit condition. Go. Do your thing. That is actually quite light on stack size. By the way, fuel value, 5 megajoules, in case you're wondering. Oh, we've got problem. We've got problem. So, this is exclusively the fact that inserters have a swing speed. It just comes down to inserters having a non-zero swing speed associated with them. Now, usually the way to counteract this is to double up on the termination stuffs, and that way we should end up with a fully compact belt. So just because we have this to fill in a gap if this happens to need to swing to pick more stuff up. See, it just dropped something because this was swinging and it missed a slot to fill. I know it's really difficult to see with the Fiberboard, in particular the sprite of the Fiberboard, but that's a very important concept when using inserters. Do not forget to now also assign the sourcing priority. This stuff is part of which mod? Oh god, which one are you again? That. High tech. It's part of circuits. And circuits are high tech. And I'm looking for Fiberboard. There we go. We have done the thing. We have done that step. Let's go back to our PCBs. And this whole thing right here is done. Gone. Eliminated. Out of the picture. Now, all of this other stuff is going to likely be done together. And will lead into PCB2s. Now that I'm supplying that, I now need to supply it over here, this section. So what does this area need to look like if it's going to be doing everything else in here for the phenolic board as well as for the nylon parts locally? Well, this is going to involve a train station. That's going to need at least the Fiberboard. It needs sodium hydroxide. It needs copper. It needs the copper there. It needs apparently drill heads and filtration media or methane. May do that separately. May do that separately. In fact, may do the entirety of the formaldehyde separately. May have a separate thing for the formaldehyde, we shall see. Just because it's used in a few things. I need chromium, though, so that is guaranteed as an input. Zinc chloride. TiCl for titanium tetrachloride. I think that would be it for this part. And then the nylon would additionally need nothing. Already have the chromium. And then phenol local, fiberboard being brought in, blood just built next door, doesn't need a train in for it. The carbon dioxide, though, is going to be done through biomass, which is going to influence how much tar I need. I'm also going to separate phenol out here onto a separate doohickey, onto a separate production block. And the reason is because it's used in both of those previous blocks. So I want to get the total values of for this cumene-based phenol. And this will be out of that, and out of that. And that tells me how much tar I need for that. And then speaking of, I need more tar for the tar-based biomass. Which is all the way down here. So this ultimately, if I go into here, is going to be 524.9, which is slightly unfortunate. So that means I need 3x of standard tar build for this. I need 3. Great. Fantastic. I need 3. So I need this, basically, which is 2 of it, plus 1 more, plus another. Right there. Ta-da! I'm also going to cut that off and flip it. I said flip it and put it there and do this. Ta-da! The bots cannot build all of that themselves because the range doesn't go far down enough. So I'll just come up here and place these things down myself on the internal parts. Ideally covering everything the bots can't cover. Just like so. Good on there. Get these placed there, and then the bots should be able to do everything else as part of this. Now I have to fit all of the other infrastructure, including that train station, in this amount of space that's left. Yay! I have to fit what now? Summary. I need to fit that. Not all of that, though, but I need to fit 12 DDCs, 6 light oil refineries, that amount of stuff, minus, I guess, this guy here, like these two, maybe. But definitely the extra nitrogen DDCs, and I have to fit this. 19 evaporators, wow. And then 7 PCB factories at the very end. Oh yes, if I do the PCB here too, I also need tin, etching, solution, and I guess that'll be it. And I can't get around the copper at all. So if I cannot get around the copper, I'm definitely going to bring in the methane and not the formaldehyde. If I have to bring the copper in anyway to do this here. And then, of course, I also need PCB out, PCB2 out, as well as nylon out. That was the idea. So, can I actually do this in one block? Probably not. I'll likely need both of these in use and have the train station in one of them, because this train station is at minimum going to be 10 stations, 11 stations at bare minimum, up to 13, which would take up, I have an example of this, hopefully, which is about that much space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is 14 stations. So basically from here to here with all of this other stuff with it. Just doing a little simple copy paste of there to the train tracks will show I technically have the space for it, which is good. I would have the space, even if I have to adjust it a bit for other fluids involved in here. So that's nice. I might be able to do it in one. Let's at least do the attempt to do it all in one. That seems like a good plan, to just attempt to get it all done in one go. Also, power would be great. Oh, it has it. I just don't have any on me because yeah, I've placed all the things down. All right, good stuff. Things. I need that to have power too. I need buildings. I need light oil refineries if I'm not requesting them. I am requesting them, so I have them. Great. You, phenol. I will look at that after I get this train station copied. Alright, I'm going to not grab this one wholesale. I'm going to grab this one. Part of me must just take the whole dang thing with all the stuff in it and then just be like, get rid of all the belt, get rid of all the poles, all the, there's lamps there, okay. Get rid of all the splitters, all the, like, buildings associated with this. That. Agitators, sinkholes, boilers, yeah, all those things can go away. That is everything, right? Get rid of the pipes. Get rid of the water wells. think that covers it. That and that. Save that. Have a look at it. Yeah, that works. I can sort of just trim the ends there a little bit. Excellent. And that will get placed right there. I don't need that, though. Yeah. That works. Ish. How many is that, though? 13. Alright, good. That'll be enough. Ideally. Ideally, that will be enough of the various things. I do need 2... Yes, I got 2 bulk rail loader segments on here, which I need, and the rest are requesters, but depends. Some of these do need to be switched over to be not bulk loaders, because I'll be bringing in fluids. Yeah, I'll have fluids that I need to deal with as well. Apparently short on the everything, as I should be. This blah. Yes, just be blah for now. Just be stuff for now. I do need to change the name of you to be blah. And same with you. You need to be blah, technically, although I'm not using the other one at the moment. Well then, that leaves that space, and a bit below to build out that. I need 9, 10, 11... well, I can just... What can I do here? I can get rid of that to get a more accurate count on the buildings. Yeah, so I would need 85 buildings, of which I would need 17 destructive distillation columns, 6 light oil refineries, at least 4 pulp mills, 6 of the compost plants, 13 high pressure furnaces, 19 evaporators, 5 mixers, 5 of the factories, automated factories, and then 7 PCB factories. In that much space. Is it gonna happen? I guess we'll find out on the next stream, because that is the turn of the hour right now, and that marks the end of it for the day today. Wow, actually ending on time for once, or at least beginning the process of ending on time. So we have our mission for the next whatever amount of time, our next stream. We will be building out the last of the infrastructure to get the PCB2s next time. I was hoping it would get done today, but clearly not. Or at least going through all of this stuff, I thought I would at least get into working on this stuff today, but oh well. Distractions and all that, and talking about other things. At least, hey, why you know 15 per second? Why you know enough? Why you know enough? It's what? Was I blind? Was I blind on the amount of the buildings? Oh, hi. That would help. That would help. Oops. Here, have a doohickey so that it can automatically get fixed. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great if you would do that for me. Thank you, game. Thank you so much for that. There's just a line of Logibots that are going to be coming to deliver stuff to me. A whole bunch of belts and such. Well, I think with that, so what did we get done today? Well, what we actually got done today was scaling up sodium hydroxide. That was one of the things that we did today. Scaled that up wonderfully. Yeah, this looks exactly the way I want it to look. Just like so. It does use some of it going off to the microfiber build over there. But yeah, it's great. That's great. I tripled the amount of sodium hydroxide that I'm making, as well as set up the setup here for making blood. I now have a lot of blood, and I have it set to do something very specific here. So what I have this set to do is I have set this inserter that is inserting empty barrels to make new filled barrels to not add more into this system if this chest accrues a certain amount of stuffs. And I'm thinking about this now. I think I set this to like 500 or something. Did I set it like really high? Because that would be a slight error considering that these things stack to stack size 10. Oops. I'll fix that manually myself right now because I don't want it to become a major problem going on down the line, because I know that I will forget about it going into the next stream. Also, we're doing that just to have some modules available down on the bottom there. Keeps things moving at the very least for now. I set you to 200, which is, yeah, 2 lines. So we're okay. We are okay there on that front. So there's blood out of augs that will be used going into nylon. But nylon also needed fiberboard. So that's why I set up additional sodium hydroxide, because we needed additional sodium hydroxide to get the sodium sulfate that's needed for this build. For the fiberboard, this theoretically is 15 per second fiberboard. If this was here, just it's a lot of steam that's being provided out of the coke, out of the tar, which is nice. Tar goes into creosote as well to make the treated wood. We got kick-alk-based raw fiber, etc., etc. It loads onto a train at the end, and that, of course, is going to be used in here as we work towards PCB2s directly. With that, folks, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. You can, of course, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat. You can support Pyanodon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyanodon, and myself at patreon.com/otakushowboat. I will, of course, see you all on the next one.